Hi, Aaron here. Did you know that you can manage all of your software testing right inside Jira? It's one of the most useful strategies for streamlining your SDLC onto the Atlassian platform. But there's a catch. You have to install a third-party app, and there's a variety to choose from. So in this video, I want to share my favorite, which is Xray Test Management for Jira. Xray is a third-party app that makes test management feel like a native feature of Jira. It supports automated testing, manual testing, and exploratory testing. Best of all, with Xray, your tests, executions, test plans, test sets, those are all native Jira issues, which means you can create custom fields, custom workflows, issue links, and use all the other features that are available for native Jira issues. You can also mix and match with other third-party apps to add things like signatures and risk assessments. I'll post a link to Xray's website in the video description. There, you'll find plenty of information about the app's basic functionality. So in this video, we can focus on why I like Xray for testing in life sciences. As I already mentioned, test items in Jira manifest as native Jira issues. Here's an example of a manual test. First, we can see that as a native Jira issue, it has all of Jira's standard fields: summary, description, assignee, fixed version, components, etc. And you can also add as many custom fields as you need as well. Next, we can scroll down and look at our test details section. This is where we can configure our test case inside the Xray app. We can set our test type. This is a manual test. It also supports Cucumber and other formats. There's a listing of test steps. This is where we can list as many test steps as needed with our step descriptions, expected results, etc. And then we can link this to other Xray items, such as preconditions, test sets, test plans, test runs, and these are all native Jira issues as well. Next, if we scroll up, we can view the linked issue section. As a native Jira issue, we can link to any other item in Jira in addition to those Xray items. So we can link to requirements in Jira, user stories in Jira, bugs, risk assessments, any other information that you manage in Jira. You can link your tests, test plans, test runs. All your Xray items can link to those other Jira issues as well through Jira's native linkage. We can see that this test is approved. That means that it's gone through a full workflow. And as with all workflows in Jira, we can customize this workflow, customize the statuses and transitions to tailor it to our company's SOPs. Also through workflow, we can control the editability of this test case. So because this is an approved test case, we can also configure that this test case should be read-only. Users should not be able to edit anything about it. Can't edit the description or native fields. Also cannot edit the test steps or anything like that. And unless they go through a revision process first. And finally, we want to look at the signature section. Because this is an approved test, we can display a panel of signatures. This particular test has one signature. You can have as many signatures as your company's SOP requires. And we're able to achieve this by mixing and matching with other third-party apps from the marketplace. In this case, a third-party signature app. The next great feature for life sciences is the ability to enforce pre-execution approval. So, as an example, here is a manual test execution that is associated with that manual test case we saw just a moment ago. And of course, as an Xray item, this test execution is just another native Jira issue. But inside our Xray app, we can see the list of test cases inside this execution. And because our test case, in this case we have one test case, because our test case is approved, we can launch this test or execute this test inside Xray's manual runner. This is Xray's manual test runner, and from here we can add our actual results, attach evidence if we need to attach evidence, pass or fail our test steps, and pass or fail our entire execution. Now let's look at a different test execution, and when we look inside this test execution, we can see that the underlying test case is not approved. It's still in a draft status, and because of that, Xray is going to prevent us from executing this test. It's telling us that this test is in a non-executable status. In other words, it needs to be approved. So that's an example of enforcing pre-execution approval. Xray is enforcing that our test cases need to be approved before we can execute them. Next, let's look at reporting, which of course is one of the most important features of a test management tool. And we can see Xray adds a full suite of standard reports to Jira. and these are all the reports that we expect to find: test coverage, test execution statuses, traceability, and etc. And if we drill into one of these, for example, test coverage, we'll find that Xray gives us the ability to configure these reports based on the parameters that we hope to find. For example, with test coverage, I can base my test coverage on the latest statuses, based it on a specific version, and this is the fixed version inside Jira, the native fixed version. I can base it on an Xray test plan, I can filter on test environment, etc. And if we need something even more advanced, there's a filter section which will let us filter our test coverage on any parameter you want. Components is a very useful parameter to filter your test coverage on, and you can also write your own filters using JQL, save those filters, and then report on those filters inside Xray using the Save Filter feature. And if we generate this report, we can see it gives us the information we expect to find, as well as the ability to drill in and find more details, the ability to view all of the associated issues in a regular Jira issue list, and also the ability to share this report with other people, perhaps in a status update, perhaps on a company dashboard, etc. And while we're on the subject of reporting, of course, it is often not enough to have powerful in-system reporting. Oftentimes, we also need to be able to export more traditional document-style reports, whether for regulatory stakeholders or for storing in our document management system. And in that case, Xray has us covered there too. They have a powerful document generator feature that runs on templates, and you can build your own templates, customize the contents, add your own branding, etc. You can even install from their online library. They call it a store, though most of what's up there is free. And you can download some standard reports and then tailor them from there. So all of your more traditional reporting needs are covered with Xray as well. Now to share the one thing I don't like about this app, and that's the pricing. For a Jira app, it's on the expensive side. It starts at $10 a month for a small team of up to 10 users, and that's not too bad. But as your team size grows, you can see the price goes up rather steeply from there. So for me, that pricing is expensive, but worth it. I don't think they're price gouging us. It's certainly less expensive than a standalone testing app like TestRails or Micro Focus ALM, but for a Jira app, it is on the expensive side, and it's certainly one of the most expensive apps on my list of recommendations. And that's my quick review of Xray for Jira. We just saw how it supports everything a team in life sciences needs: workflow controls, signatures, pre-execution approval enforcement, reporting, document generation, the full works. Hope you found this review helpful. If you want to see more, go to www.agile-innovations.tech. Thanks for watching.